Welcome to the Empowered by Love. This is a self-empowerment retreat to embody a new consciousness. My name is Paige Ray, and I'm so honored to be interviewing the host of this event, Yarra Atlantica Miller, soul name of Janet Miller. Hi, Yarra, welcome.
Hi, Paige. Thank you so much. Appreciate this. This is exciting.
Yeah, so Yara, I know that a lot of the audience here right now have been following your work for many years, but there's also some people here who are just getting to know you. So I'd like to introduce you and let them know a little bit about your work. So Yarra Atlantica Miller, soul name of Janet Miller, has been on this eternal journey of owning her divine light for over 20 years. Having come full circle, she is now known as the Divine Light Activator. She assists and supports the current wave of awakening souls to step out of the 3D matrix and into the 4D and bridging into the 5D higher consciousness. So how does Yara do this? She does this through her mastermind called the Divine Light Accelerators and also through her Own Your Divine Light show, which by the way, we're building up to season 5 pretty soon. So as an energy conduit, Yara supports others through energy sessions, chakra work, and other energy modalities. Yara is also a sought after soul purpose oracle reader where she assists others in understanding the creation codes behind their birth name and also in discovering their soul name. Yara is also the co-author of the Amazon bestseller book, Women Let's Rise. So Yara, once again, I'm so honored and I'm super excited because you had this vision of creating this retreat called Empowered by Love. As the host of this retreat, why do you think this topic is so important, especially right now?
Well, thank you, Paige. That's a great question. Um, well, I really felt that, we've been really inundated with so much challenge this year, fear, and people really need to go back into their hearts. We have to ground ourselves again onto the earth and do it through our hearts because we always get stuck in our heads because the fear takes over. And I've been there myself, so I'm not saying nobody can get away from it at all on the whole planet. And so to help us all ground, especially right now at the holidays, it's special. And our holidays are all changing now because of these challenges in the world. Families are getting separated and taken apart from, different choices they're making. And then we don't travel these long distances because nothing is, it's really a challenge to do a lot right now on our planet. So I really felt guided to bring this through love because it takes a lot to feel love when you're inundated with what we've been inundated in the last 2 years almost now. And I had my own journey. This year's been my journey year as far as taking care of me because I'm also working with people, clients, and doing my different memberships and things like that, and my show. But I also feel like it's so important for each of us to take care of ourselves and do it. The spiritual work is so important because without being connected to our spirituality, I don't think you can get through this. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're religious or you're not religious, whatever it is you need a foundation of love to get you through it. I mean, what was it like to be separated the first year? We were so separate. It was very, very difficult. People really realized how much they missed people and companies. I mean, Zoom boomed and we had
Yeah.
a whole new world open up with people learning how to live from their, from their Zoom link. I mean, it was incredible. And now we're still doing it because it's really kind of nice sometimes because you can connect all over the world now. You don't have to go out to
Mhm.
holistic events, even though it's nice to connect with people, but it's also wonderful to connect around the world. And so we get to reach each other in so many different ways, and all our cultures are connecting, our belief systems, we're sharing them, we're understanding that we're all feeling the same things. This is how much this whole situation with the challenge we've had, the COVID challenge, has been really, I mean, I've said it before in other shows, it's a gift because it's bringing us into ourselves. It's bringing us back into our hearts because we're understanding that in order to get through this, we have to own our own sovereignty. We have to learn to love ourselves. We get to, I mean, it's not like we have to, but we get to do it. You can choose not to, and just, sit and eat popcorn and watch TV and all that kind of thing. But, you're going to gain a lot of weight. Not too good for you right now, especially during this time. You don't want to
Mhm.
gain a lot of weight right now because it's not good during COVID. And also, we need to, for me, it was so important to go in and do the inner work. And I know anyone who's watching is part of that thinking, and they want to partake. They're feeling it in their hearts. And so I feel so empowered to do it. The name came through so effortlessly. So once that happens, I know it's an important event to put out. And whoever is the speakers on this show, we're meant to be here. I'm very
Mhm.
guided to who comes on. And if people, certain ones have come in and some people didn't quite make it to the end, and others have come on. So it's kind of exciting to see how the ebb and flow of this whole event has happened. And I've learned to be very resilient. And I think all of us have to be that. That's kind of my word of the year of
Resiliency.
2021 is resilience, because
Mm.
if you're not resilient, you're going to be broken. It's like a tree with that limb, that beautiful bending of the branch. You know how they can bend so
Mm.
easily when you see the squirrels jump on it and they just bend and let them go. And the birds, they're so effortlessly light. And, we have to be the same way. We have to bend
Mm.
like those branches. We have to be able to take these little curves that have come at, I mean, they're not so little sometimes, but there's a lot of things coming at us. And so to be grounded in your hearts and to be grounded in your love, and love to me is source light, it's creator light, it's God light, and it's all we need. It's what we have to sustain us through this. I mean, to me, it's an essential component to my survival, because we're
Mhm.
not alone. We're sparks of
Exactly.
God. We're meant to be we're part of God. Our souls are here. We're divine beings in embodying we're in our human form, who are learning to embody our whole divine essence while we're in this incarnation. And this incarnation is all about connecting to all the aspects of who we are, and also to help raise the consciousness on the planet and to shift to the next level. And all the forces that don't want us to do it are playing out right now. And I don't think
Mhm.
anyone ever thought we'd live through this kind of thing, but we're doing it. And this is the time we're meant to be here for. And it's the hardest time that anyone in modern history, I mean, even harder, I think, than, I mean, it's equal to maybe the Holocaust and that kind of thing that went on. It's not just in one country now. That's why it's even bigger, because it's all over
Mhm.
the world. It's equally shared amongst every country in the world, all of us, all citizens of the world. It's bringing us together as citizens of the world. And it's also bringing us to get together as citizens of the heart, and to
I
know that
agree. Yeah.
we just need, for me, I connecting to my heart to get through fear is a difficult thing, but first you have to own it, look at it and go, okay, what is it about this? What's the worst thing that can, well, we could die, but we are divine beings. I'm not saying that's an easy thing to look at, but, and it isn't, because it wasn't always my favorite thing,
Mhm.
but yet we go on, we're infinite beings of light. And so to stand in whatever choice you made in this whole thing going on is very important. I mean, not to separate us, but to also be a bridge. Like in the beginning, I found myself, I'm really strong in my beliefs. And so I have to be careful. And I really tried to, plant seeds with people before they made decisions. I tried it then. Then I realized they made their decision. So it was a hard thing to pull away from the fact that the decisions weren't what I would have made.
Mm.
So it's a whole new learning of how to accept other people's choices, even the people closest to you, even
Mhm.
sometimes the people you live with,
Mhm.
that you have a choice. You can stay or you could leave, or you can move into that unconditional love, which is a whole new learning. It's like learning to love at a new level. You hear with unconditional love, it's like we're loved unconditionally by source, but
Mhm.
yet
Yeah.
how do you love unconditionally when things are really not the way you want it to be in your life?
Mhm.
You've, so I had to look at it and say, okay. So I went into my heart and I'm like, this is important for me to stay where I am, to be doing what I'm doing and with who I am with. And so I have to go into my heart now, and I have to trust that I'm being given something that I can handle, because we always been told we can handle, we're never giving anything we can't handle. So obviously
Yeah, yeah.
we're learning to handle this, everybody, but we're not just handling it. We have to also stand in our sovereignty with this. It's not just handling, it's also choosing to, um,
Evolve with it.
yeah, that's a good word, evolve with it. Yeah. And also to raise above the separateness consciousness that keeps
Hmm.
coming out. I mean, we could easily separate, and you see it happening even amongst families, as I said. And I don't think it'll last forever, but I think right now it's the fear factor that gets in our way. So that's why this was so essential for me to bring through, to have people experience some events right now. All the different speakers have brought through information and experiential moments, and we'll
Hmm.
do a vision and this event with me. And it's so, I think it's just so wonderful to take the time to be gifting yourself, because there's nothing better than gifting yourself right now, and to take quiet time. I was in a group meeting the other day, and one of the women is the medium, and she led the group, and she said, um, my guides are telling me that right now, from now on, this time of the year, we're in November of 2021, almost the end of it. We're just about moving
Hmm.
into December, actually,
Yep.
not too, like a couple days. So um, we really need to rest, to really rest right now. It's super important to be resting and taking care of ourselves. No matter what you think you have to do, don't start anything brand new that's going to really pull on you hard. Put it aside for
Hmm.
2022, because 2022 is going to be a blockbuster. It's going to really have us come through and do things and start to step into more action. And the rest of this year is so important. We had the eclipses, we've had the new moon, the full moon, all those energies. I don't know how you feel, but those energies have just knocked me out. I mean, I've had to rest more than I've ever rested in my life. Sleeping, napping. It's like, okay, I can't even fight it, because I'm sitting there doing something, boom, I'm out. So you have to honor it. You've got to honor
Hmm.
your body. And sleeping isn't so easy either. I mean, you go to bed. I mean, I'm a night bird, so it's not the best thing to be like me. But I really have to break that habit, because it doesn't do me any good. And then I get out of a cycle. But your sleep is affected everybody. It doesn't matter if you sleep on schedule or you don't. Everyone's, I don't know how you feel, but my sleep has been affected. And
Hmm.
so all these things are natural. And another thing that I've been finding out from different people is that the symptoms of the COVID also mimic the symptoms of Ascension. And so
Mm.
you may not really, I mean, we have, because we're shifting our bodies from carbon to crystalline. It's never been done before in the human form. And and the crystalline is embodying our divinity. It's embodying our divine essence. So as we do that, this physicality has to start shedding things. And this is the good shedding, not the other kind. And
Yeah.
it's
Not the other kind.
healthy shedding. And this is all about, doing this in physicality. So we have to have physical symptoms. Like, people can have achy joints. You can have, I mean, vision can be affected, even the taste and smell, which is all COVID related symptoms, but they're also Ascension. Because I've had, people that were really sick uh, be told that this is Ascension, and I've heard it
Mhm.
myself. So it's so important to honor that. And no matter what you're going through, if you're sick, you're sick. Take care of yourself, and don't go mingling with too many people. Really stay safe and take care of yourself.
Mhm.
Um, but this moment is for us to delve into our hearts and to take that time to be in stillness. This is like a moment to be in stillness. And in the
Exactly.
intro I give, I always talk about how um, we're always running around at holiday time. I mean, and holidays are still shifting a little, but they're still going strong enough. People are still
Mhm.
decorating, they're still, getting together if they can, and all that kind of thing. And they're cooking and they're buying gifts. So, and if you're not, that's okay too, because it's all changing. It's all shifting. Some of these things aren't as important as they used to feel, because what it does matter when you go through what we've been going through, what matters is each other. What's matter
Exactly.
the people you're with, and yourself, and to take care of you and the people that you love and that you care about. So that's why I did this.
I think in the past 2 years now, ever since COVID happened, we really saw the power of fear and how it's driving everyone into, division. Doesn't matter if it's blood related or longtime friends, you can really see that shift where we're really being tested to see kind of like what what vote you're going to buy into, right? Like, are you going to be voting for fear or are you going to vote for love? And I've been working with you, Janet, for the past what, almost 3 4 years now, and
Yep.
love has been an ongoing theme for you. So it's really natural. I've seen how your journey of self empowerment from the very beginning when we started Own Your Divine Light show season 1, it was all about how you had to go through this, had to get over the childhood traumas and the hurt that you went through. But self empowerment is so different. And nowadays, like now, I'm seeing a different kind of self empowerment that happened to you this year. So, do you want to share a little bit more about that? Like, what got you into your road to self empowerment? And how different was that when you just started your work and, as a teacher, as a spiritual teacher versus now being in the deep of this 5D consciousness?
Yeah, I mean, I would say these last 2 years have really told you to put your money where your mouth is, like really step into what you're meant to do, because you have to know who you are at this point, and you have to
Mm,
stand by your beliefs. I mean, I think this is the test, as you're saying. I totally believe it's a test. And it's the test that is, are you going to stand for you and what you totally believe in? Are you going to be pushed into it? Are you going to be bullied into it? Are you going to be mandated into it? I mean, we can really get into the words, but you have to choose. And this is the soul choice. In my mind, this is what I understand. This is what I feel. I feel it so deeply. I mean, I've heard other people say it, but if you don't own that yourself, that this is your soul choice that you're making,
mhm.
then you can never stand in the sovereignty that you are right now. You just can't do it. So, I mean, there's so much, I mean, I've had to give up, even in my own group, family, and even friends. I've had friends drop away. They don't want to be around me, and family that's worried, because I have different choices than they do. So, and it's hard, but then I have to look at it and go, well, this is my choice. I've made this decision. This is, my soul has guided me to this, and I'm standing in it. I'm standing in my sovereignty, no matter what. No matter what, I'll
Mhm.
go down fighting all the way with this, believing in this all the way, never believing I'm wrong. I mean, not that I'm perfectly right, but for me, it works. It works me
Yeah,
for my belief system and for my soul path, my soul's journey. This is my soul's journey. And
exactly.
so that's what's so powerful to me. It's a whole different empowerment, as you're saying. It's a whole different
Mhm.
way of looking at empowerment. I mean, when I first started becoming empowered, I mean, I left home to empower myself at 19. So then I had to learn to take care of myself, the survival base method, base chakra kind of survival, learning how to be without family and, do your own thing. And then you get married and have children. It's another kind of empowerment, because now you become a parent. And now you're in charge of these other little beings in your life, which is a real shock, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
it is.
wow, a lot of fun, but it's a hell of a lot of work too. And it's a lot of responsibility. So
Mhm.
then you kind of give over everything somewhat to your children. I mean, it depends. See, my age was a little more giving fully, where the younger age, like your group, you still can seem to balance it out so much better now. You've got a great balance going, which I'm so glad to see. We were still, I would, my group, I mean, you're talking about me born in the 50s. Um, Someone who had to live through so many changes. I mean, it's like I've lived through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime in this
Mhm.
whole, I look back and go, I am not at all that person. And thank God I'm not, because
Yeah.
I didn't really go for that person too much. She was pretty, I mean, she was strong, but she was so confused, she was very
Mm,
confused and hurt and angry and all those things that we all go through till we heal ourselves. And not that I'm perfectly healed. Nobody, I think, can be, but yet you're allowing things now to come through, and you're allowing things in your life that you never did before, and because you believe in it in a good way, and it's through the heart. This is what connecting to your heart is all about. I don't just think in my head. I have to go into my heart, sit with it, and really meditate on it. And like, is this my truth? Is this my truth? I
Mm.
mean, this is what it's all about, to be in your truth. And it is my truth. And so to empower others to be in their truth, that's why you're here today. Whoever's listening, I'm so happy you're here. There's so many things that we can do to empower ourselves. And I'm so grateful for my empowerment journey. I mean, and every one of us has a different way of seeing it and a different way of journeying through it. And it's none of it is easy. So if you've had an easy ride, lucky you. You must have a karma you never had to work with, or, just you picked it right. But I would say most of us who's in this genre of healing work and spiritual work, we've all had to go through some kind of a wound, because to do
Mm.
that, you cannot help others. I mean, it's our journey to learn through our wounds. And I mean, we do, because our wounds are really lessons. And it's
Mhm.
for us to look at and go, okay, so what did I learn from that? What's the wisdom I've gained from this? And how has it led me to where I am now? I mean, if I didn't keep going and keep challenging myself and keep saying, if you don't do that, you're never going to be happy with yourself. When you leave this planet, you have to look at your life and say, I have done everything. I didn't shirk from it. I didn't allow others to tell me to do it or not to do it. I chose myself, and I had to go up against a lot of opposition, believe me, from many different ways. So it's not like I just did this easily. It wasn't,
Mhm.
because you have to go up against yourself. Number one, it's yourself that really stops you most of all, because we're the ones doing it. So I had
We're
to learn to
often
love my
standing on our own way.
all the time, and to first of all to you know clear yourself. I mean, I had addictions. I've been sober for 29 years. That next year will be my 30th, which is pretty amazing. But it's so wonderful to look back and go, I don't need that. I'm so happy I had the journey of it, and I had fun. It was fun. Didn't do any real damage, but except to myself. And I grew up in it, so it was sort of like an inherited thing. But you had to learn through it, and I knew it wasn't going to be my long-term life, because I couldn't do it to my own family. So it's nice to see that I didn't have to bring that. I mean, I still had to bring things to clear. I mean, it wasn't like my kids got away scot-free. You're going through your wound clearing. It's a lot of work. And it's tough,
Mhm.
especially in my generation, because all this is new to us. I mean, to go into this
Yeah.
kind of work, it was new. And I knew I had to be something. And when I got like the calling to be a healer and an energy worker, it was like my soul just knew this was it. This is what I was meant to do. This is where I was meant to be with people, to guide them. So starting with the energy working was absolutely wonderful. Love it, still love it. But now connecting with people is so powerful for me. I love connecting with people. I love bringing new information to people. I love sharing information, visions, healing work, whatever is meant to. I really, because that's empowering all of us,
Mhm.
because when we share these things, we learn from each other. That's what it's all about. Collaboration is key right now. It's key to collaborate with each other, to share things together, because that's bringing in that unification that we're meant to have in this world. So that's why our groups, like all of these spiritual groups, are all connected so many ways. We're all doing such powerful work right now. Any one of you that's even on the first leg of the journey of spirituality, it's a powerful journey. Stay on it. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, you have lots of us to help you, and plenty of people to reach out to. So please don't feel like you're alone, that you're behind, whatever it is. There's no such thing. You are where you are, and you're meant to be there. Because I know for me, I mean, after I did my healing work, and I kept having like, okay, I love my healing work, but what else am I meant to do? I knew it wasn't enough.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, there's more. And I don't know what that is yet, because I was a little unfulfilled after a while. I'm like, okay, there's something else. And then I traveled around the world, and that was really wonderful. But then that got empty. I'm like, that was
Mm.
wonderful. I did grid work and I loved it, and it was powerful. But then there was still nothing. I needed more. There was something else on the road for me. And then this work came through, online, shows, and talking to people, and collaborating with, amazing people around the world, and doing shows and doing the membership.
It's an
I mean,
accumulation of your experiences.
yeah, mine, and still I have so much I'm learning. I'm sharing and learning with everybody as I do this because it's so powerful. I mean, because we're changing so much. Humanity is changing constantly. So the ancient knowledge is coming back, and the things that we haven't been aware of, there's so much opening up, so much opening up. I mean, I'm just blown away by the things I'm learning. You would never even imagine in your wildest dreams the things that you're going to start hearing about soon.
Mhm.
It's that world that we dreamed of. I mean, it's like the Star Trek world is coming. It's here, but we haven't all been aware of it, and we haven't been told. And then there's also the ancient methods are coming back because those are the true methods. I mean, look at what they're saying. Plant your own garden. Plant your own garden.
I
Take
know.
care of your own, don't,
Live off the
because
grid.
living off the grid is big because, our food has been tampered with. I hate to say it. Our
Mhm.
skies are always dropping stuff on us. We don't know what it
Mhm.
is. And I mean, it's amazing we've survived. I've
Mhm.
heard so many people say that we've had so much come down on us that we're just survivors, and it's amazing. We're so strong that we don't even realize how strong we are. And so this thing we're in right now is another test for all of us. Which way are you going to go? Are you going to stand in your own power, in your own belief system, or are you going to let someone lead you? And
Mhm.
we've always been led by somebody, but now it's being led by your own heart. Now it's all about
That's
leading by your
powerful.
own.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So in the early stages, your self-empowerment looked like unraveling and discovering who you truly are.
yeah,
And now, after many years of being in this work, self-empowerment now looks like like having really a firm footing on what you believe in and
yes,
on who you believe you are. So
yeah,
that's really interesting that it looks, how that evolved to this type of self-empowerment.
yeah. And it's made me be authentic. I mean, I didn't really know who I was. I mean, you don't know who you are as you're coming through these things because so many things are in our way. The traumas are in our way, the blaming, the shaming, looking at other people and always saying they did it to us. No, no, nobody did anything to us. We have chosen these lessons. We have chosen these people to bring us these lessons because we couldn't do it ourselves. They come into our lives. They've chosen those roles also in our lives to bring those to us, even though they may not consciously know it, and neither do we, but that's how it works. And that's my understanding of how it works. And so it's helped me to step in my authenticity, just like anyone else here. To step in your authenticity, we have to go through the shadow parts of us and all
Mhm.
those things that have held us back. And it sounds like words. It is words, but they're words that you have to take to your heart and say, is this important for me to do? Do you really feel called to do it? And it's a calling. It really
Mhm.
is, because it's
Let's
not.
dive deep a little bit about that, Yara, because you mentioned we've chosen these lessons, right? And for some people, that might be uncomfortable to accept, especially if they're going through something really heavy. So,
It
how can
is
they process that and feel empowered instead of,
Howard.
yeah, instead of feeling like a victim to their
Right.
choices, if you say that it is their choice?
Well, they're not a victim. It's all been, it's really, this is our soul journey. I mean, and this is the hard thing to get to. When you get into spirituality more and more and more, then your mind keeps opening and opening, new doors keep opening. And so your heart keeps opening. And so as, like the famous sentence you always hear from people is, um, well, I told you that before. God doesn't give you any more than you can handle. But people get so
Mhm.
tired of hearing that because they just want to go, stop that. Don't say that to me. And it's true. And I'm probably kind of saying that too in a way. And I don't mean it to be that way, but yet I've learned through my own times, you have to go through the blaming and the shaming, and you've got to go through
Mhm.
the anger and the hurt. You've got to go through those feelings. You've got to feel the
Yeah.
emotions, and you got to go through your victimhood. But then you've got to say enough is enough. We can all, I've been through it.
Mm.
I was in healing school, and I always thought I was a lonely heart. Like we had to pick what we thought we were, right? So I was a lonely heart, abandoned by my family kind of thing, but even though I left them. But but my teacher said, I always thought you were a victim. And I was like, oh, no, no, that's my mother. But that isn't true. It's not just my mother, it's me too. I was also a
Mm.
victim of my own, lack of taking responsibility. I wasn't taking responsibility of my choices. I was looking at everyone else forcing me to have them, and it's not true. No one can force you to feel anything. And that's my newest sentence that drives me crazy that people say to me. No one can force you to feel bad. No one can force you to take something on unless you choose to. We're
Mm.
always choosing.
We're
And
always choosing.
it's tough to hear that. It is hard. It's very tough. I remember when I learned choosing is we always have choices, and I never thought I had a choice. I always thought it was just fate. We think it's fate. It's not
Mm.
fate. There is no fate. There is coincidence, there's synchronicity, and there's
Mm.
choice. So if you're in the flow of your life, then you have a lot of synchronicities happening, interesting things happen, coincidences, and you meet people and things in your life are just falling into place. Then you're in flow. Then you're doing it all. Now you're aligned to what you're meant to do. And if things are really hard and things are really blocked, it's time to step back, look at your life and look at yourself. Like, what's in my way? It's me. I mean, if you have people in your life that are blocking you, look at them and look at the mirror that they're sending back to you. What
Mm.
is it that they do that irks you so much? That's your trigger, because that triggers your trigger about you. And that's a hard one to see. I know I've lived with a lot of triggers in my life, and I didn't want to look at that. I was like, no way. I don't want to look at that. But yet, if
Uncomfortable.
it's very uncomfortable, but I don't want to not look at it, because I'll never get anywhere if I don't keep looking at it. It'll just keep me stuck. I mean, all the beginning of the year, I kept turning over my cards from my Oracle cards, and I would get stuck. And I'm like,
Mm.
I am so sick of that card because I was stuck and I didn't know where I was stuck. So when you're stuck like that, you can't always do it yourself. So then you go for a mentor, a healing mentor, or
Mm.
someone that you're attracted to, someone you're guided to. So then when you start feeling like you're stuck, so keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep your heart open. If this person shows up that you hear speak, or is doing something that you really feel guided to partake in, do it. Don't
Mm.
hesitate. Hesitation is going to lose that potency of what you're meant to do, because as soon as you take the chance, then the universe opens all the doors for you. It totally opens the doors. When I
Mm.
started to go into this work, it was a big thing. I really committed a lot of money, something I never did in my life. And I was scared to death. But I happened to have a little inheritance. My mother had left me. So I'm like, okay. I said to myself, oh my God, I actually could do this if I really wanted to. Oh my God. And
Mm.
at first I'm like, I'm never going to spend that money. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I fought with myself for 3 days. And then I said, but this is the challenge I'm being given by the universe. Am I going to step into this new role I'm being called into? Or am I going to just, what am I going to do? Wither away and do nothing? I mean, I had no direction at that point. I was starting to lose all my direction. So I said, I'm just going to take the leap. I took the leap of faith and did
Mm.
this thing. And um, it's been amazing. It's been amazing because I've met someone like you. I've met people all over the world that, I've my whole world opened up and tripled. It just expanded in ways I would have never imagined. And it keeps happening. It's not like it's completed yet.
Mhm.
It's not. It just keeps changing and expanding. And that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to expand and grow. And this is through our heart. So I was guided by my heart. I had to go into my heart and say, what is it why will I do this? Why would I really need to do this? Because I always knew there was something else I was meant to do, and I still didn't know quite what it was. And I said, this seems to be my chance. I don't know any other thing that's calling me like this. So I just committed. And
Mm.
honestly,
Commit to the
it's
calling.
commit to the calling. And it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. And it's a journey. It's another journey. It's scary as hell. It was another scary, oh my God, this is not easy. None of this is easy. And it hasn't been easy for me either. But I love it because you find yourself growing in courage, growing in, well, visibility for sure. I mean, like, I liked being invisible. It was easy to be invisible.
Mm.
It's safe, because I wanted to be safe my whole life, but playing safe is not living. It's just not
Mm.
living. So then I started to break out. So I'm breaking out constantly now, and
And expanding.
and expanding, and owning my sovereignty, owning who I am. And this, as I said, this year has cemented it. The last couple of years has cemented that for me, because now I know who I truly am and who I'm truly meant to be. And I mean, pretty much, I mean, there's always still more to go. I'm not saying I know all my answers. Nobody ever does. It's an ongoing journey. But um, so if you're stuck and you don't like your life and you're not happy with what's happening, I highly recommend taking a course. I mean, it doesn't have to be an expensive one. It can be something you've been always passionate about learning. Do it. Just try it. It could be the most natural thing to you. You go in there and it just flows for you. If that's what happens, you're going to see it's exactly what your heart was meant to guide you to. And follow your intuition. Intuition is key as well, to follow the guidance and follow it to the end. Don't quit in the middle, even though it's easy to quit. I used to quit a lot. I did. I quit a lot in the past. And it was, well, I get tired of it and I'd switch, or I wouldn't put enough effort into it, all that kind of thing. I was a huge procrastinator. I'm not saying I was never perfect in anything. So to be where I am now, it's like, wow, this is so wonderful. And I have a lot of support. I have you, who is amazing. And I am so blessed. And I'm always grateful for you in my life. And we're an amazing team. And all the people that are out there listening now, you're all wonderful people that you've been guided to me. I've been guided to you. We're meant to work together. We're soul families. We're all soul families. We don't connect to each other for nothing. We're soul families. So when you connect with somebody and you find that person is somebody like listening to, all right, maybe you're not ready to work with me yet, or whatever, or with anybody on the show. There's a lot of people to work with, so it's not just me. You can work with Paige. She does her work too. She's a coach. And it's amazing, the opportunities that we have right now. We can look at the world as really shut down, but then if we do our own inner work, it can open doors. I keep looking at people doing that, and I keep saying, you can open and shut. It's like open and shut, open and shut. You open up and go, oh, wow. And then something happens, you shut down again, but then you got to push those doors open again and know that you can live, you can get through this. You can make a choice that's going to make you happy. You're going to be able to live in joy. You still can do it. We can still do it no matter what's happening around us. We create our reality. We are our creators. So any choice you make shifts your life. You know that. Everyone knows that. If you move out of the country and go somewhere new to protect yourself, wow, look what you've done for yourself. A whole new adventure, right?
It is. Well, I
Yes.
wanted to ask you like what your big lessons are throughout this journey towards sovereignty, but you shared a bunch of lessons here with us. Like the very first one is everything is a choice, right? Doesn't matter how big or small it is, if you really take ownership and responsibility of the fact that everything is your choice, you get to start to create your own reality. And I love that you really pointed out on the idea that when you do get stuck, because it's normal to get stuck, we will all feel like we're stuck somehow. Asking for a little help is not a bad idea.
Not
Because
at all.
sometimes it's hard for people to ask for help, to hire a mentor, to work with a coach, right? When they're feeling stuck. But I love that you really pointed out that, hey, this is normal. This is part of the journey, and it's okay to ask help. And you also pointed out to commit to the calling, that we shouldn't stop halfway, especially when it's getting tough. Or sometimes I think challenges mask itself with boredom, oh, I'm feeling bored
Mm.
about that one now, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe that isn't the right way you meant to go, but you can change that. You can shift
Hmm.
anything. Just because you don't like what you're doing and you're bored with it, well, now then something new is going to be ready. So start opening up your horizon and go, all right, so what is my heart pulling me towards now? So maybe you're watching a podcast and you like what this person's talking about. That could be a guidance right there. That's your intuition kicking in saying, this is for you. This is something you could be good at.
Yeah, that's good. And we're meant to expand. You really pointed out, this journey of self-empowerment, it's not a one-time destination. It's an ongoing journey, and it's part of our life journey as we keep expanding and reaching into our own sovereignty. So now that you are where you are right now, Yara, and you've helped a lot of people really tap into their calling, discover and own their light, and also realize that their life and their journey spiritually impacts their current reality. What is your source of empowerment now? Like, where do you get your own self-empowerment?
I get it through listening to my heart mostly. I mean,
Mm,
when I feel like unclear, I have to get quiet. I have to just ask myself, is this something I can truly stand by? I really
mm,
do. I mean, like I have to, but then I can write about it. I can journal about it. A lot of times I do that. I'll
okay.
just meditate, and then I'll just do like stream of consciousness writing. I'll just start writing because it allows me, because I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't want to block it. I'm not blocking it. I'm just allowing it to come out. So I just let it spill on the paper. I have to write. I'm a
Mm.
tangible girl. I mean, you can type it on your computer if you like that, or you can speak it into your phone. You could speak it onto your computer if you've got that kind of device.
Mhm.
But for me, I have to handwrite it. I like to write. I have all my colored pens. I always have a million colored pens. I buy colors. I like color. So I write with all different colors. And and then I read it, and then I get the information. It helps me
Mm,
clear my thinking. So, and this is divine guidance as well. I'm listening to my guidance more and more. And I wasn't perfect at that. I definitely wasn't. And I'm still, I still have to keep saying, keep going, just listen to your intuition. Because when I don't listen, boy, things get messed up. They get really goofy. So when I follow it, it just starts to flow. It just starts to flow. So um that's really the best thing I do. Or else I can talk to somebody. Like I reach out for mentors. I definitely do. I have mentors I've been working with all year. I don't just do it alone either, because when I was stuck, I knew I had to reach out. So I've been working with one particular mentor for a whole year, Susan Mason
So
Apps. She's been
empowerment
amazing.
is really all about tuning deep within.
Absolutely. Going deep within. It's absolute. You have to connect to your truth. And we don't do that. We look at everyone else. I mean, I love to listen to podcasts, but you can listen to them and they can give you ideas. But in the end, you have to take it into your own heart and go, is this true for me? This is discernment. Is this true for
Mm,
me? Is this my truth? And so when I do that, I mean, and you have to do it. Otherwise, you're just being led by everyone else. So until you know that this is your own truth that you could live with, that you can follow, and everyone has their version of it. It doesn't have to be a pure of any purity of everyone.
mhm,
I mean, even the Bible, you can take things from the Bible and have great, intuition from it, but it doesn't mean you have to follow it all by the letter. I mean, some people
mm,
think they have to, but it's really your own choice. If that's what you feel you have to do, then you do it. If you don't, you
mm,
don't. There's ways you can interpret it you know I mean, I went to church for years, and I went to other things, temple, and then now I do my spiritual work. It's inner work. It's connecting with
mm,
God. I am my own connection with God and source and creator. We don't need any connection. That's the ancient way. People connected on their own, but they also could have groups. I mean, that's how you find your tribe. You find your
mhm,
tribe, the people
exactly.
that are like-minded, and you connect with them, because we're not meant to be alone. We're a collaborative group. We're a collective species. We need to be with each other. We love to have connection, and it's important to have connection. But then you also have to have your moments of stillness and quiet, and taking time to know your own personal truth. So something that I learned, which was a great insight, which I used to do, is that my mentor Ariella Indigo said today, um, her top tip was to um, before you get out of bed, have a journal nearby and just start free flow writing, which I used to do things like that. Or I would just read a meditation, like I'd open up this meditative book and get my meditation for the day. And that would sort of guide me in what my day was going to be like. Well, she says, whatever comes out, it's like your soul telling you what you need to know today. So that can be transferred into lots of things. It can be transferred into, like if you're working like I do, emails and talks and
Mm,
courses. I mean, And it can also be turned into your connection with your family or your connection with yourself or your children. I mean, it's really a beautiful thing to do before you get out of bed. Think about what's on my mind right now. What do I need to think about? What's important to me right at this moment? Because this is what we're living in the moment. And that's all that matters right now is the
Mm.
present, because we can't live in the past. We can't
Right.
drag it with us. It just drags us back, and it's all falling away anyway. The past is disintegrating, and
Mhm.
the forwardness, the future, is something to look forward to. We don't really know what's there yet, but it's interesting. We've been told there's so much waiting for us, and we just have to get through this part of it, and then we're going to be into some great stuff. So that keeps us going, and but to the present is the key, to stay present, to stay very conscious of where you are energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically, like just to, connect with yourself fully, and take that time first thing in the morning. Like a lot of people, that's your spiritual practice. I mean, a lot of people
Tune
get up,
in. Yeah.
they go and sit and meditate. You don't have to get out of bed at all. I don't get out of bed. I mean, I do some of my best work sometimes just laying in bed writing. I really do, because nothing is in my way. My mind is clear. I haven't done a thing except I feel my inspiration come in. So I'll
And
sit and
you're
I'll write everything else
relaxed.
for days. Yes, I'm totally relaxed. So it's either early morning. I'm even better at night when it's all quiet, but early morning is really good for me too. But late at night is not doing me any good. So I have to switch to more mornings again.
Mm.
But it is a great thing to think about doing, is to connect in the morning, journal it, have a journal, a notebook, doesn't have to be fancy. Use your phone if you want, but I don't keep my phone by my bed or I'd never sleep. I have to keep it out of my
Mm.
earshot. And I don't think it's healthy anyway. But
Mm.
that's a personal choice. A lot of people have to have it by their bed because they feel like they don't want to lose connection with family members or whatever, and or if they're alone. But yeah, that's kind of what I feel is a really important thing to do, is really stay connected to yourself. You've got to know how you're feeling, connecting to what is my next thing I need to do, or what is not even do. Who am I? What is it that I will bring me joy in my life? And
Mhm.
that'll lead you onto your road of alignment with what you're meant to do and
That's
what you're meant to
beautiful. So
be.
it's such a great reminder to acknowledge that, when we do look out, sometimes when people think, I mean, I know I do this, when I'm feeling a little down and I want to feel inspired, I would often listen to a podcast, watch an inspiring YouTube video, and what happens is I'm trying to seek for self empowerment from outside sources, right? But all that does really is giving us ideas on how we can be empowered or feel inspired. Where true self empowerment, based on our conversation here, true self empowerment really comes from deep within, right? If we want to get out of depression, for example, or we want to get out of fear and anxiety, we really need to take the time to just sit in the silence and tune in deep within. And that's where we
Yeah.
get true self-empowerment. And I think that's such a beautiful reminder because we're constantly forced to look outside of ourselves,
Yeah. And
right?
connecting with nature. You can go sit in the yard, you can go
Mm.
for a walk in the park, lean against a tree, just take a walk in nature. Nature is a great, everyone loves nature. I mean, you've probably heard it from a million speakers, but it's true. It's the most powerful thing because it's nature, it's God, it's source. You're
Yeah.
talking sources right around you, all versions of it. And you can go up in your backyard and just hug a tree, do whatever you got to do, sit with the tree, look at the birds. I mean, I've said this before. I love birds. We have a lot of birds in our yard because we have a lot of bird houses. And so they make us happy. And this is nature, because nature's always present. They're always present in the moment. They live in the moment and they teach us how to stay in the moment.
Mm.
The squirrel doesn't, say, oh, I got to worry about tomorrow. Am I going to have nuts tomorrow? Am I going to have seeds tomorrow? They don't care. They're just having fun. They're chasing each other around the ground,
What
having
a
a good old
life.
time. It's very, this is kind of what we're meant to do, but we've taken on a lot of other things because we've been trying to survive with this
Mhm.
kind of a backward situation we've been put into, which we didn't know we were until we know we are. You don't know
Yeah.
till you know. So we're really getting awakened to so many things that we are meant to be, that we have been kind of blocked from being in
Mm.
many ways. And also, yeah, kind of, we've been living in, what would you call, well, very well, veiled is another way of looking at, or
Mm.
illusion. You can call it an illusion because it is kind of an illusion, but
Mhm.
it is our reality that we thought we were in, but now we're realizing there's a whole lot of other reality we can connect
Some
with.
people call it a simulation.
True. Well, the Matrix movie tells us about the simulations and the
Mm.
Matrix. That's kind of what, you know, I don't think we'd see it that way, but yet, um, yeah, the world is so different than we think it is. I mean,
Mhm.
I love the world that we thought it was, but
Yeah.
when you find out a lot that it is, it's like, whoa, how did that all get by us? It's
Mhm.
like really a surprise. But anyway, were we going to do a vision? Because we have a few more minutes.
Yeah, so before we get there, actually, I wanted to ask you this too. So when we started, this interview, you talked about how this whole pandemic experience that we're going through is actually a gift, right? And so I'm just curious to find out what is important to you now. I think after, it's almost 2 years that we've been in this pandemic, and actually, as we're recording this, Janet, you're there in the States, and I was based in Canada, but I recently moved here to the Philippines. And it doesn't matter where you live in the world, everyone is truly affected by the pandemic and how governments are trying to deal with all these different things, right? So we're definitely one, and I think we're all being awakened to our new truth and realizing what truly matters to us. So do you mind sharing with the audience what matters to you now? What is important to you?
What's most important to me is to safeguard my soul, just to guard my soul, to know that my choices will get me to the higher consciousness and to the next level that I've been yearning for since I came onto this planet. I always knew there was something that I had to attain somehow. And that they call it ascension, they call it higher consciousness, next level, 5D, whatever you want to call it. But it's the opening of your heart to unconditional love is really what it is. That's what if you really want to look at it in our more human terms, it's opening to unconditional love, to love everybody around you, no matter what their choices are. And that's a little airy fairy sounding. I mean, you're not going to always love people,
Mhm.
but you're going to look at them and realize that they are you, but they're making their
Mm.
decision from their heart and their way, because we're all each other. We're all mirrors of each other in many ways. I mean, not the exact mirror. Nobody's the exact mirror of everybody, but there's points in each person that shows you parts of yourself.
Mm.
And you go, wow, do I do that? Oh, or, oh, I like that. I like that person. Like it's certain, sometimes you see things in people that you really like. I remember
Mm.
one of my friends in leadership, when I said that, he goes, if you spot it, you got it. And I love that. So if you see something in someone that you like, you probably have it in you too.
That's
So
awesome.
that's an,
Yeah.
yeah, that's another positive thing. And if you see something that triggers you, that's also possibly in you. So there's both sides. You can have really good things that you see in other people, and because you have it in you, you spot it in them. And I love that saying. I never had heard that before. Unconditional love is what I'm finding I have to step into, because if I really want to live in my sovereignty, I have to love from my heart, and to do it without any conditions. I mean, I didn't
Mm.
know the difference between conditional love and unconditional love until this thing happened, to tell you the truth. This whole
Mm.
pandemic, I call it a pandemic.
Yeah.
And because I still was trying to put conditions on love during this. And then I realized that I can't. I can't do that anymore. It's not in my best interest or the people around me, because
Mm.
nobody's happy.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Neither of us are happy.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to step away, honor their choices, and honor mine, and move into my heart, totally embrace
Mm.
my heart. And
Mm.
it's taken a long time to get there. It doesn't always happen easily. So if you're struggling with it and you think, oh, that's impossible. Well, I mean, I understand. I mean, I understand it in my head, but I also feel it in my heart. I can
Mm.
feel it in my heart when I really am there. It's like there's a lightness that comes with it. There's this
Mm.
amazing lightness. You just feel supported. it's like you feel a supportedness. It's like
Mm.
God source is supporting you, because God source is unconditional love, and that is there for us. So when we tap into that, we're tapping into source light, source energy. Um, One thing I learned, and I mean, I always ask for my guides to be around me, or, angels, but I didn't always name angels, because I do love angels. I mean, I always grew up with a Catholic church. I mean, my goodness sake, I went to 12 years of Catholic school. So angels are always in my life, Jesus and Mary, and I love Yeshua and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and all them. But the angels are always here for us. And that's something I've just really embraced more and more. The angels are always waiting to support us, and people will go, oh yeah, sure. It's true. There's a lot of miracles that have shown that angels are, supporting you. And I know I've been protected so many times,
Mhm.
and I've asked for protection, but now it's even more important to ask them to surround you, to surround any
Mm.
of your loved ones, and tell them for how long. Give them direction. Tell them for
Mm.
when, where, and how. They like direction. They like
Yeah,
to be
I agree.
specific,
Yeah.
and they have to be clear. And honestly, you can tell your angels, and they're here. And don't say, I can't tell angels what to do. Yes, you can. You're meant to tell them. I
Mhm.
learned that from another mentor, Laura Van Tyne. She said, you have to put them around your family if you're worried. She saved her daughter from a deathly accident by putting the angels around her. She
Mm.
said the daughter said to her that her car literally floated to the side of the road. So
Wow.
tell me that angels don't exist. She was
Mm.
17, her first time driving out on her own. And I want to tell you the same with me. I remember I was driving home from an AA meeting. This is way back, like 25 years ago. And um, I hit a patch of ice, and I did a 360 right in the middle
Mhm.
of the road. And I was like, oh my God. And there was nobody around me. So I didn't hit anybody. I didn't hurt anybody, and I was fine. But I was like, thank you, angels, because I knew I was protected. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, what am I going to do here that I'm protected like this? It's always the thought, like, well, when you're protected like that, there's more to do. Plus, they love you. They want to be there for you.
Mhm.
They're here to be here for us, to support us. This is their job, because when we support them with asking for help, we're also helping them move into their higher levels, because angels reach higher levels too, just like we do.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's amazing to know that. And it's actually very freeing to know that they're also moving into higher levels as we ask them to work with us. This is their work, to work with us.
We're all
Our
helping
work is,
each other. Mm.
yes, the whole universe helps each other,
Mm.
all of us.
Yeah.
So this support system is enormous. It's enormous. So when you can wrap your head around that and appreciate it and thank the universe for all the support and use the support, then you're moving into your heart. You're living into wonderful heart-based living, unconditional love, because, you're really trusting. You're trusting the universe. You're trusting yourself. This is part of self-love. This is loving yourself and trusting yourself. And it does take time to
Mm.
get there. But you know what? Many of us are getting there really quickly because of this event going on in the world. It's
Mm.
forcing us to go, because this is what it's here
Yeah,
for,
it's
to
forcing
force
us
us to
to
get to this
accelerate.
level.
Yeah. Mm.
This is our acceleration
Well,
period, everyone. Yes,
I
go ahead.
totally believe in your story about the angels, because I have a similar story about that patch of ice. It was in the
Yeah.
middle of winter in Canada, and we were driving out for a like Thanksgiving dinner for my family with my family. And what happened was, next thing my husband knew, there was a truck spinning because the truck probably hit a patch of ice, and then it hit our van. So our van started spinning as well. So there's two large vehicles on the highway spinning. And then we ended
Wow.
up from the left lane. It was a 3-lane highway.
Highway.
We ended up on the right ditch. The
Wow.
glass exploded. That sliding door in the van, it was smashed in. You can't even open it. The
Oh,
van was totaled. And
wow.
I was so worried because my daughter was sitting at the back. My daughter was 1 year old at that
Oh
time.
my God.
All the glass exploded. Literally the van was totaled, but not even a single scratch on us.
Wow.
And I knew immediately, I was like, thank you, God. Thank you for my
Yeah.
guardian angels, because we were
Yep.
definitely protected. So I love the idea that you shared with us, that when we give them direction, when we ask for their support, we're also helping them accelerate to their next level too. Because I think, it feels like a balance with that we're not taking anything from them. It's not just about us, but as a universe, we're really truly helping each other accelerate into a higher consciousness. So I think that's really beautiful. So Yara, one of the fun things that we do, especially that the people watching this will probably watch this just before the holidays, right? And 2021 is just about to close its book. We're about to enter a new chapter. What are your predictions for 2022? And I know you're planning to bring that on through a vision. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Let's have this experience together.
Okay. So I don't have any real clue what's going to come through. So I'm making this very open and spontaneous. And so we're just going to go into the grounding that I usually do. And then I ask for what's meant to come through. And it does happen. It's been my newest trust that I've been doing for the past, probably since this whole thing started. I've started to trust my visions more and more and more. It's been amazing. And it's helped a lot of people as well. So, okay. So I just want you all to take a nice deep breath right now. Close your eyes, take a breath through your nose, in through your nose, down into your belly, and then blow it out your mouth. Then take another deep breath in through your nose, down into your belly, and then out your mouth. And then take one more and blow it out. And then visualize going down your legs, the crystalline roots of light. See them going down your legs and out your feet, going down deep, deep through the earth, through the layers of the earth, towards that giant golden crystal that I see as the heart of Mother Gaia. Send those roots to her. You can wrap them around her or plant them next to her. And you're connecting to Mother Earth now, into her heart. And Mother Earth is going to now send up her beautiful crystalline golden light. This is her unconditional love light that's going to start flowing up your roots of light. It's going to flow back up through the layers of the earth, back up in through the bottom of your feet, up into your legs, up into your belly, through your arms, send it up through your chest, up into your neck, and then up into your head. And then see this go out the crown of your head like a beam of light, and send it right out through the roof of the house, wherever you are right now. Send that beam way up, send it up into the sky. Keep going. You're going to go way off planet. Keep going up and see the beautiful stars twinkling at you in that beautiful inky purple universe. And that one star is twinkling brightest at you. Send that beam to the star. Connect with that star and become one with it. And now you're connected to heaven, you're connected to earth. And this is your beings of light who are here for you. These are your angels, your guides, your beings of light, galactic and relatives and friends, and whoever's in your soul tribe is in this group here. And as I said earlier, connect with these beings and ask for them for help. If you're asking for support, tell them exactly what you need. All right, I need protection. If I'm going on a long trip, save me, protect me from any injury or any sickness, or, make it smooth, make it effortless, let my luggage arrive, whatever it is you need, because it's holiday time and people may be traveling. You can say this and set it up. Let my car show up that I'm renting. Let me get there safely. You can set it all up for any way you want. And just ask them to protect you this whole time from this date to this date till I come home safely back in my own home. Whatever you need to do, it's really important to set it up. It helps. It gives them specific direction. So now we're going to send up that beam of light to the central sun, and the central sun is our portal of light. And this is the portal shifting us from our carbon to our crystalline. And I feel like we're meant to go up in this portal. I see some stairs showing up in this portal. So now we're going to be in this bubble of protection. We've created this beautiful bubble around us. As you walk up these stairs, it's taking us to this door. I see this white door. Let's open the door. As we step in, I see this beautiful garden, and I see this pond like a spring in the middle of it. And there's all stones around it, so you can sit, take a seat. Take a seat right around this pond. Now, there's also a waterfall. And any of our guides can show up now. So if there's a particular guide that wants to show up for you, just ask them to come now. Whatever name comes into your mind, that is the guide that's showing up for you right now. So just let that guide be there. And you can ask this guide, what is it you need to tell me right now? What is the message I need to hear? If you're very still and very quiet, you'll get a message. I'm also going to ask my guide who just showed up, and I will tell you it's Merlin. I see Merlin. That's the name I got, and that's what I'm trusting. It's Merlin. Is this the highest version of Merlin? Now always ask, is this the highest version of this highest being of light? Only the highest being of light can show up, because there's a lot of imposters. So make sure you know it's the highest being of highest light. Okay. Merlin has stepped away. I see Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is here. Archangel Gabriel, do you have any messages for us for 2022? And I need to give to this group listening. They have people telling them messages, and now I'm going to give a group message. There will be continued struggles. They will end. July, August, we're going to see a shift. Could even be June. Just depends. But July, August, this is it. I see a lot of light coming onto the planet. She's showing light spreading onto the planet more and more. The darkness is pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, pulling back. Ah, Gabriel's sending light into our hearts right now. Feel this beam of light coming into your heart. If you feel a warmth coming into your heart, this is this unconditional love light coming into our hearts right now. It's a gift. It's a gift from the archangels, and Gabriel is bringing it to us. This gift of unconditional love. Feel it in your heart. You may feel warmth. I feel warmth. Just let it emerge. And as you feel that warmth in your heart, Gabriel is saying, let it expand. Let it expand through your body. Let it fill your cells. It's like the rays of the sun. It's this brilliant, brilliant light. And it's got these beautiful rays. And it's going around you, encasing you in this giant sun. Ooh. I can feel warmth down my back. If you feel it anywhere, if you don't, just imagine it. Trust that this is happening for you. Trust that you are receiving. Ooh, Gabriel is sealing us in this golden sunlight. We're sealed into this beautiful light to bring us some peace, some bliss, some healing, joy. Gabriel says, go in peace now. Enjoy this time. This will be with you. Wow. Till the end of next year. We can have this with us. So if you feel like you've lost it, just sit in this energy. Just remember the sun just coming into your heart and just expanding into your body, into your cells, and then surrounding you with this brilliant light. It's like your giant sun. Those beautiful rays just glowing all around you, outside your body. You can recreate this. You are empowered to create this yourself. Gabriel gifts you with this. We are all capable of this. But she is reminding us that we can do this for ourselves. So she is stepping away. And if your guides are still with you, and if you feel like they're still there, you can ask them if there's any gift that they have for you. Is anything particular they're going to give you? So you can just allow them to give you a gift. You don't have to share it with anyone. Just keep it for yourself and make a note of it. What is your gift that you've gotten? This gift is going to help you unlock things for 2022. It's going to help you more on your path, more in the guidance to help you step into your full empowerment and sovereignty, and do it through the unconditional love that we are feeling right now. So the portal is closing at the central sun, and now come back down that stairway, coming through that door, down the stairway, come down. Then you're going to slide into this beautiful shimmering silvery light that's going to flow back to the earth, sending it back to where you live. Let it just come flowing come in like a beautiful shimmering light. Just enter through your crown, just filling you up again. So your essence is back in your body. Let this essence flow right down your body. Let it flow down your legs, and you can connect to the earth with this as well. So you are all connected. Wow. So I just want you to sit with this energy. There was nothing we had to release right now. We just had to feel this beautiful energy. It's still, I can feel it. It can just stay around you, or if you wanted to, it can go into your heart and just live in your heart. Whenever you want to move into expansion, just sit in quiet and allow it to expand around you. Create the sacred space. Make sure you're grounded to the earth when you do this. Make sure you create your sacred space. So is there any other message that you have for us today, beings of light? You are all loved more than you will ever know. We are here for you always. We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All beings of light over here. I'm going to ask them to step back now. And we cut all cords to all the connections. Send them back with love. Take a deep breath. Slowly come back into your body again. Make sure you're in your body. Feel your feet in the ground. Breathe. Your breath brings you in fully. And then slowly open your eyes. Okay. So.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Yarra.
Thank you. Yeah, that was amazing. A gift from Archangel Gabriel. I love that. I've always loved Archangel Gabriel. Always been my favorite archangel. Didn't expect that to come through.
Yeah, yeah. And a massive shift in July or August. So something to look out
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I hear, hopefully it's true. Hopefully
Mhm.
it's going to happen, but it's in the essence, it's in the ethers. So
Yes.
if we choose it to come through, it'll come through. So keep, sending that love energy out to
Mhm.
all of the people around you. It's helping the collective. It's helping us to stay in our hearts. Everyone, no matter what they're doing, it doesn't matter how evil, how dark, send them love. Love shifts all.
Love
This is what
shifts
I've
all.
learned. Love shifts all. And
Powerful.
again,
So I believe, Yara, this is the last session for this retreat. Do you want to end this with, by yourself and with a special message for all of our viewers?
yeah, I'd love to. I feel very blessed to be part of you and to be connected to you and to be allowed to share all this with you. And I'm so grateful for all of you who have joined us in this retreat and for anytime you've joined my groups and my events. And I'm just so grateful for all of our connections and that this is what we're meant to do, is to stay connected to each other and to do it through our hearts. And this unconditional love, that sun that was surrounding us, it was beautiful. I
Yeah.
hope you all felt it. I really felt it myself. And these are the gifts that we have that we can bring to each other. And we all have this in us. So I don't just do it alone. You also can do it. And you're all ready for it. That's why it happened. It always comes through for whatever we need at the time. And it's just so beautiful to trust our intuition, to trust our guidance, and to do it from our hearts. So I hope that you've gotten something from this retreat. I really am so excited that I could bring it to you. And I hope it's empowered you and helped you step into your heart again and to love and know that love is all there is.
Love is all there is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Empowered by Love. If you love this, I'm pretty sure that we can make this available for you so you can have a lifetime copy after the retreat. And also feel free to share it with your friends and your loved ones because as we know, especially during this time, the the shield that we have against fear and division is love. So our self-empowerment is really sourced from love here. And we are grateful that you joined us. And once again, Yarra, thank you for giving me the honor to interview you. And we'll catch you on the next retreat that we'll be hosting.
Thank you so much, Paige. Yes.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.